Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Hope you're all well. Sunday evening. Yeah, and I'm back with another beer review. I'll tell you what, I'm still boiling. Still feels red hot. To wet my face before I started this video because it's just too warm. But yeah, we're back with another beer review. And it's one that I got from the latest Trembling Madness order that I got about a week and a half ago, something like that, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and this one is from Elusive Brewing. Now, if I'm correct, I've had the West Coast Oregon Trail West Coast IPA and a Christmas one from them. I think this is the third one that I've done from them. If I'm wrong, I do apologise. And the beer of theirs that we are looking at is their Gyroscope Pale Ale. It's a Citra and Mosaic Pale Ale. It's coming in at 4%, so it's only a light one. 440ml can, and this costs £3.99. Now, you could say, hang on, £4 for a 4% beer. Is it expensive? I suppose ultimately it depends on the quality of the beer. The only way we're going to find out if the beer is any good is by getting it poured into a glass. Nice artwork. That's their, well, I say it's not their typical thing. Very gaming-like, if you like. I'm trying to think of the game it reminds me of. Is it Gyroscope? I don't think it is, but all the blocks remind me of something else. So anyway, stop waffling. Been in the fridge, got it out about 5 minutes ago. It's probably about 90 degrees now. White Hag glass, my go-to sort of pale ale IPA glass. So let's get it cracked open. We've got the bits on there. Now, I know this one isn't out of date, but it's best before the end of September, I believe it is. So can't really argue with that. Yeah, best before the end of September. It's still in date. So let's get it cracked open and see what we get. Took some getting in there. Now, just to let you all know, I'm away next Monday, a week tomorrow. Baz is off on his Ollie Bobs. I have just reviewed the Yeasty Boys Big Mouth Session IPA on the Pint of 3 earlier. Just had a couple of glasses and I've bottled 6 bottles, so they're in the airing cupboard, as it happens now. They're in the airing cupboard ready to go, and when I come back on the 30th, I believe it is, that will be when I stick them in the fridge, and I'll be giving it a re-review then. So obviously there'll be that coming up. There may well be some new beers coming out before then that I'm not going to get round to doing, because if I'm away, I could order them, I suppose, but you might have to wait. And then there's all these other beers still. Anyway, beer in a glass. I've got to say, if I'm honest, yeah, it doesn't look massively inviting. It looks like a 4% pale ale, though I am getting a nice little aroma. It's hazy. It's very sort of pale. It doesn't look very sort of dense. The head on it is very sort of spacious. It's compact sort of at the bottom, but it's a very sort of spacious head. And I'm trying to tidy it up by giving it a swirl, but it still looks a little bit untidy. We have got a little bit of a cluster in the bottom. So let's dive in on the nose and see what we get. We should get citrus notes. It's Citra and Mosaic. Yeah, and there is a nice hoppy citrus aroma. Tropical. A little bit of malt in the background, I would say. But like the look of the beer and like the ABV, the nose, although decent, it feels light on the nose. So let's dive in on Elusive Brewing's Gyroscope Pale Ale, 4%, and see what we get. Cheers. Ooh. Yeah, to be fair, it's got a lot of flavour and it's not wishy-washy, let's put it that way. So first impressions from that little mouthful is, yeah, for the sort of beer it is, is pretty good. Now, like I said, it's 4%. I'll probably keep harping back to this. And although the beer is quite light, it's not wishy-washy, it's not watery, and I think the body is quite good on it. For that sort of ABV, I think the body is quite decent. It's got a reasonably good mouthfeel, I think. The carbonation isn't massively busy, but you do feel it. It is quite busy in there. It's certainly not uncomfortable, if you like, and it doesn't really ruin the mouthfeel. It's still quite soft and still quite smooth. On the taste, for me, very much sort of hop forward. Citrus notes, grapefruit, tropical along the back. What I'm going to say is citrus notes, grapefruit, and then you get a maltiness that starts kicking in. Behind that, you get a little tropical feel. The maltiness lingers on, and it sort of leaves almost bready caramel, I think. Let me go in again. Yeah, not maybe a brown bread crust sort of feel. That sort of little vibe going on in there. But very much, I'm going to say, a traditional feel of a traditional malt feel, if you like. So a traditional beer when it's quite malty, and a traditional pale ale kind of malt feel on the background. That's what you get with this one, which is quite nice, really, because I think maybe without that, as much as it's properly hopped, I think the beer would feel like it was lacking something. So I think having quite a big malty feel in the beer gives it more weight to the taste. It maybe even adds a little bit more to the body. 4%. It's nice for 4%, actually. That's got a lot of flavour for 4%. You don't get it. I think somebody could tell you that was 4.5% and you wouldn't argue. It certainly drinks, I would say, certainly in flavour, drinks more like a 4.5% in flavour, if you like, than a 4% beer. But yeah, I mean, it's all right. Again, I go on about the ABV. I have nothing against low ABV beers, but I do like a beer that is bigger. And I think when a beer is bigger, the flavours are a bit more bolder, the body's bolder, the beer is kind of smoother. But in this case, for a 4% pale ale, I think Elusive Brewing have done a decent job. Is it my cup of tea? Not against it. Would I drink it if I went out? Yeah. Would I pick this up again? No. It hasn't, it's not making me go, oh Jesus, I'm suddenly going to turn to drinking, craft pale ales, if you like. But it's a decent drop for what it's doing. So yeah, for me, I'm going to give Elusive Brewing's Gyroscope 4% pale ale a thumbs up for the style. Remember, I think for the style and the ABV, it's doing the job right. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. If you like your lighter beers and you like your pale ales, give it a go. There might be a couple of bits I've just missed quickly. Yeah, it does have quite a bit of bitterness in there. I'm going to say maybe starts off with a citrus sort of bitterness, ends up with tailing off to a grapefruit bitterness. Yeah, and that's all I wanted to add, really, because I knew I'd missed something. So yeah, Elusive Brewing Gyroscope, give it a go if you see it. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night, and Bazza, we'll see you again soon on another one. Cheers.